Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about my February TBR. Now, it is Black History Month, and I am super pumped for this month. I have decided to participate in the readathon that is happening this month called Blackathon, and that is hosted by Jesse from their channel Bow Ties and Books. I will leave down a link to the video if you guys want to continue participate in that, so you can get information from their channel. Also, on this TBR, I'm going to include those books so you know what I'm reading, as well as my buddy read for the month of February. Without further ado, though, let's get started. Okay, so my official TBR is not super huge. I got a total of 14 books on here. One of them I do not have yet because the book has not been released. And I will get to that book. I'll get to what that book is in a few minutes here. But let's get started, shall we? The first book that I want to talk about is Vengeful. Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book and final book, as far as I know, in the Villains Duology by Victoria Schwab, aka V.E. Schwab. I read Vicious between end of January to beginning of February, so technically Vicious is on my TBR for the month of February as well, but I finished it already before I did this video. I actually finished it last week, and I loved it. I actually have a book review for this book, so I will go ahead and link that down as well. And I'm also going to be posting my first reading vlog pretty soon for this, because I read Vicious and I decided to do a reading vlog for this. And I'm super nervous for you guys to watch it because it is my first reading vlog, so be a little gentle. Oh, Vicious and Vengeful is about two friends named Victor and Eli who were attending college, and they wanted to do an experiment where they became EOs, which is extraordinaries, and those are people with superhuman abilities, superpowers, if you will. And the way to become an EO, they find out, is to have a near-death experience. And in the book, they do have multiple near-death experiences to try and get powers. There are times where it goes wrong, and there are times that they do succeed. And once they succeed, they end up turning on each other, and it just goes downhill from there. And it's super good. I love Vicious so much. And I plan on reading Vengeful sometime this month. And I'm going to do another reading vlog for it, so be looking for that probably by the end of February or beginning of March, depending on when I get to it. The next book I'm going to talk about is a series that has been around since the late 90s, but has been gaining so much hype again in the last few years, and that is Malazan, Book of the Fallen, or Malazan, however you want to pronounce it. This is basically a postmodern fantasy, I guess. I just was told to go into this with an open mind because it is not your typical fantasy. I don't know too much about it, so like I said, I'm going into it blind and with an open mind. And Andy and anybody who has really hyped up this book series for me, if I don't like it, oh, I'm gonna have some words. But I'm really, really hoping I like it. Next one I want to talk about is Crave by Tracy Wolff. Now, I know there's going to be 4 books in this series. The first 2 are out, Crave, and I forget the second one. The second one is somewhere around here. But this is the first one, Crave. This is similar to Twilight, but different. Meaning, there is a guy and a girl. The girl is human, and the guy is a vampire. But one thing that's different is they're attending an academy, which has like all different types of monsters, as far as I remember reading from the synopsis. And all the monsters do not like the main girl because she's human and stuff like that. And as far as what I've read from in the synopsis, the main guy in the story, the main vampire, is nothing like Edward, and that's refreshing. So, I can't wait to read this. I'm going to go into it kind of blind, because, yeah, I'm just super excited to read something about vampires that is not Twilight. Okay, the next one is going to be a reread, and that is the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and that includes Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, my favorite book in the whole entire trilogy is the final book, Clockwork Princess. This trilogy is one of my most beloved trilogies I have ever read. I'm not saying that just because I'm a huge Cassandra Clare fan. I'm saying that because I freaking love this trilogy. Like, I love every single character, even the ones that irritate me. And just the writing style is super good. And plus, it's set in England in the Victorian era, I believe. So, me likey. And this is, by the way, is the Cassandra Clare is responsible for the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and which includes these 3 books and several others. And our main character, Tessa, she's from New York, and she comes to England because find her brother. Because her brother always gets into trouble, and she always happens to be the one that bails him out of it. And it turns out that it's a trap. And she ends up being stuck with these 2 warlock creatures who try to get her to do something she knows nothing of. And it's found out that she has these, she's a warlock. And she ends up escaping these women and like living with shadow hunters in the Institute. Yeah, in the London Institute. And it just goes off from there. It's super good. I recommend this trilogy to anyone. But obviously, if you want to read Cassandra Clare's books in publication order, I would suggest that. But at the same time, if you don't, and you want to start from the beginning, at least from her in chronological order of like times the series are set in, this would be the like one set in the 19th century. I love this series, like I said. And then I hope to get to this one. This is the first of a planned trilogy by Cassandra Clare. This is Chain of Gold, which is the first book in the last hours, which is the sequel series to the Infernal Devices. And this is basically the main characters in this book series are the children of the main characters in the previous series, Infernal Devices. And I read this last year because it came out last year. It was so fantastic. I gave it 5 stars because it was just that good. This one, this is how it's set up. Is in this, the Shadowhunters have not seen demons in their world in a long time. So when the demons do end up attacking, they're not as prepared for it because, like I said, they have not seen demons in a long time. So there's been some sort of a peace that has been going on. And when the demons do attack, they leave a lot of the shadow hunters feeling sick. And there's a plague that is kind of going around because of the demons. And at the same time, our main character, who's on the cover, Cordelia, she's trying to get her family out of a bad situation. Her father is being held somewhere in Alicante, which is their city, because he said to do something bad, and it's brought shame upon her family, and so she goes to London to try to reclaim her family's name and, like, you know, put her family back in good graces with everyone else. I love this book. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars, and I definitely recommend this. But if you want to read this, I would definitely read Infernal Devices first. And the second book to this comes out next month. It's called Chain of Iron. I am super excited for that. The next book I want to talk about is one that everybody has hyped up like crazy, and that is The Poppy War. This is a Asian-inspired military fantasy. It's also got, obviously, historical elements to it, which I love. And this is about our main character named Rin, who attends a academy, like a military school, and she passes a test that nobody in her situation would normally pass. She passes it with flying colors, and she's able to go to this certain school and learn all of these amazing, like, warrior techniques and stuff like that. At the same time, though, she finds out that she has this incredible hidden power, and basically has to learn what to do with it and stuff like that. And she's also fighting a lot of prejudice because she's a girl. She's also doesn't look like a lot of the other people that she goes to school with, and just other things. But yeah, I'm super excited to read this one because everybody keeps talking about it. Okay, before we move on, I'm going to mention the book that is going to be on my TBR, but I do not have it yet because it hasn't been released. And that is, I'm actually going to put it up on the screen here so that you guys can see. That is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. That is the next book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses saga, that which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And the original series, we meet the sister Feyre Archeron, as she ends up in this in Prythian, which is the fairy world, and she soon ends up getting her sisters involved, not voluntarily, And that's who this next book series is going to be about. Is about one of her sisters, Nesta Archeron, who is now a fairy because she was turned against her will. And I'm super pumped for this one because I just finished Akawar, which is A Quarter Wings and Ruin, last month in January. It was the only book I finished in January because I ended up in a reading slump. But I'm glad I finished that book finally. And last but not least, you guys, we're going to talk about my real quick. I'm going to mention the books that I'm reading for Blackathon again, in case you didn't miss my Blackathon video. I will link that video again. So I'm reading A Space Between Worlds, which is a sci-fi. Sound of Stars. Children of Blood and Bone. And my buddy read for the month of February is Legendborn. I am excited to read all of these books, and I will keep you updated on my status of all the books I'm reading. I'm currently reading this book, Space Between Worlds, for Blackathon. I am loving it. I am about 100 pages in, just about. And oh, this book is getting so good. I'm gonna do a book review at the end of after I finish this book. So I am super excited to share this with you. Anyway, you guys, that is it for this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can be informed when I post new content. And yeah, I'm super excited for this month. And I can't wait to share more of the books with you that I'm share the books with you that I am reading. As far as vlogging goes, stay tuned for Vengeful, like I said. Guys, I shall see you later. Bye.